Hello, Northern Hero here. I've just been, well, I haven't read anything today, but at the moment I'm reading Dave Mustaine, A Life in Metal. It's a biography book from the lead singer of Megadeth. He used to be in Metallica. Now, the guy's a Christian. You can look it up on the internet, but I'm a bit surprised that it mentions the F word on nearly every page. I mean, it's still a good book though, up to now, but I'm not going to judge him, because we shouldn't judge people. That'll do a work in his life. In the background, you are currently listening to Rebecca St. James. It's the best of. And that song, what just came on in the background, was a song called Yes, I Believe in God. And I hope some of you just enjoyed watching Louise, who went to hell and came back. People that aren't sure about stuff about hell and that, go back on my channel and check that video out. It's a video exclusive. If you've heard him before, you know, it might be good to listen to him again. Check it out, please, and give it a rating. I'm not forcing anyone to watch it, it's up to you. But it's a very interesting video. The guy went to hell. Hell exists. Yeah, I'm reading that book, but obviously I'm not going to judge him. But, you know, no one is perfect. Everyone has faults. If you are coming back from somewhere in a car and you drove about 200 miles with someone and the person didn't want to go an extra 7 miles, you know, to drop you off, even though you paid the fair share of the petrol. What does that mean? Is the person selfish, regardless of how tired he is? This scripture comes to mind. This is from the English Standard Version. And if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go with him 2 miles. I forgot to take note where that scripture's from. Trust me. You can just type that in and find it wherever it is. I possibly could not go with someone on a long journey, then tell the person to get the bus, you know, just a few miles away. Especially on a Sunday, when you've got to wait about 30 minutes for the bus. You know, I just could not do that, and especially if it's a good friend. I couldn't do it anyway, even if I didn't like the person. Selfishness comes to mind. However, it did not happen, but the person was thinking about doing that. What would have happened if it did happen? Because the other person was tired, dropping me off on a road. I had the words in my mind to explode at the person if he did not take me home. Would I have lost a friend? I also remember quite a lot of years ago, one of my friends used to get himself something to eat every time I went to his house. And after being there for quite a lot of hours, the person would always feed himself. One evening the person said, "I think I'll get myself a sandwich." I said, "Go on then, I'll have a sandwich with you." The person swore and said, "Ask, why don't you?" My response was, hang on, it's different when you come to our house. You always get something to eat at our house. And I think I walked out. Selfish people can't help themselves. Friends who are supposed to be good friends have their faults, but then again, I have faults. But what about judging? Am I really judging? No, I'm not. I haven't mentioned anyone's names, and I don't intend to either. And no one knows about this channel. I do not tell anyone about this channel, not even my friends. A few people know about my previous channel, but I keep my mouth shut about this channel. Don't think I want fellow Christians pointing at me and judging me because they don't like something from my channel, which, to be honest, used to happen. The dangerous thing about judging is the fact that we could upset people, but most importantly, it's in the Bible. Matthew 7 talks about judging others. Judge not, that you be not judged. For with the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged, and with the measure you use it will be measured to you. Why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when there is the log in your own eye? You hypocrite! First take the log out of your own eye, then you will see clearly to take the speck out your brother's eye. Do not give dogs what is holy, and do not throw your pearls before the pigs, lest they trample them underfoot and turn to attack you. Actually, forget that last bit. I don't get it. I don't know if it's something to do with judging. I'm not sure. Anyway, God really showed me something about judging. And most people do it, especially Pentecostal Christians. When I first went to church, when I first went to church, a guy had an Iron Maiden t-shirt on. It had the Number of the Beast album, you know, printed on the front. And it looked quite evil. I couldn't help noticing it, but before I said anything, someone next to me had their Bible opened on the page with what I think had the above scripture on, about judging. We have to stop worrying of what other people think. Yeah, we have to stop worrying about other people. You know, there's no point, is there, thinking about other people all the time and judging them. Doesn't matter how many tattoos, etc. someone has. You just do not judge that person. It could, in fact, put that person off God altogether. In fact, the person may have been interested in God. You know, the guy with the Iron Maiden t-shirt on, and someone may have brought him. We just do not judge. However, over the years I have found out that there's quite a few Christians who I've met who like the metal band Iron Maiden, which I grew up with. A lot of the metal bands are evil, and some of them are, if they're non-Christian. The words, you know, they always talked about stuff that is unbiblical and stuff like that, but you've got to put yourself in the mind of an atheist. He doesn't believe in God, so he's going to write about all sorts of things, isn't he? But obviously some of them do go over the top. Some Pentecostal Christians are very judgmental. don't do that, don't do this, do that, do that. With certain churches you'll feel as though you are being controlled by something other than God. We have to make a decision on our own. A few American Christians came to visit us in the 90s, which included a pastor. However, the pastor could not stop talking about my dad's tattoos. Okay, my dad has got a few tattoos, but big wow! Is it anyone's concern? He made my dad feel very guilty, and my dad had the tattoos before he was a Christian. It's no one's business. I can't remember what actually happened, but the pastor was very angry that he saw the tattoos on my dad, and my dad says, oh, I had them in army, you know, how you get together with your army mates and that. So the pastor says, well, I never did. Well, obviously he didn't speak like that, but he was very abrupt, and I was only a little kid at the time, and I didn't like him. If we have the spirits of judging, we need to be sex free. Alright? And selfish people as well, to be honest. They don't know that they're selfish, I don't think, some people. They don't get it, they don't understand it. What is it with smelly people? People that stink? Right? Do we tell them? Look, you two stink. I've just been away for a weekend, and we shared a caravan with two very smelly people. What do? Do we tell them point blank that they stink and they need to get a shower and a change of clothes? Now what? Would they be very upset? Someone who my mum and dad knows, this lady is also a Christian, and I'm not kidding you. She stinks. Right? Have we got to keep our mouth shut, or what? Obviously we can't really judge people according to the Bible on terms of appearance and that. It's hard, isn't it, sometimes? But also, it does say in the Bible that I mean, selfish people get my names, but also there's righteous judging in John 7:24. Do not judge by appearances, but judge with right judgment. Everybody's heard of South Park. I'm going to be kind of judging that programme, basically, but righteously judging, because I saw it about a month ago, flicking the channels, and I have to admit, I've watched a few episodes and I thought they were hilarious. They do go a bit overboard, and it's adult humour. But I watched South Park about a month ago, flicking the channels. I thought, I might leave this on for a bit, but nothing else seems to be on. I mean, the programme consists of jokes, sometimes about Christianity, and I saw a Mickey Mouse character on the South Park animation, and the character was blaspheming Christianity and Jesus. It was unbelievable. He said a few things. I mean, then I turned it over. You would never see South Park having a go at Muslims and Muhammad. Why? Because the studio would probably get bombed. And I think some Christians are too weak, to be honest. And we need to start to speak up for ourselves and for our faith in God. Why can we let programmes like that speak blasphemies of our God? Right? It's just not right. Why do we allow it? A lot of comedies these days mimic Christianity and Christians, and I think some believers think, well, we've got to turn the other cheek Really? You know, really? I thought that's if we get punched, we're not supposed to punch back. No, it's time to speak up for your belief. It's time to speak up against satanic media. Alright? And start to send them letters and etc. Do you know what I mean? We live in a time where... I mean, I haven't seen a good comedy for years. I like Only Fools and Horses and stuff. And, you know, I haven't seen anything like that for a lot of years. And if there were something like that, it's not going to be nowhere near as good. And some of the American comedies, to be honest, every time I flip one on, you know, they're laughing every 2 or 3 seconds with their false audience laughing. I can't stand it. You know, I find some American comedies extremely irritating. Right? I like the British stuff. I'm sorry if any Americans are watching and they don't like what I've said. You might be a Seinfeld fan, or I don't know, something else. Well, I'm sorry, but I am an Englishman, right? And I like English comedies. Some American stuff's alright, don't get me wrong, but most of them, you know what I mean? Have a think what I've just said, and I'd like to see a few comments. Alright? Got a few comments, and people aren't liking my videos, so either like or dislike. I'm not bothered if people dislike the vid, because if people dislike the vid, that tells me that there's something wrong with that video and I need to make a change to it. I need to figure out that if someone dislikes a video, especially from a Christian, if it's one of mine, if it's something other what I've put on, like a preacher or something, and a Christian dislikes it, that might that might tell me that a Christian may dislike the preacher. Do you know what I mean? So if people could put a comment on, or put a like or a dislike, I'm not bothered. You know, or even give me a private message if you don't want your message being showed to all over the world. Speaking about that, I don't get many views. I might get 10-15 views on the videos. Sometimes a bit less, sometimes a bit more. I don't know watches them, but I pray that God will bless you who watches my videos. Right? Have a blessed 2011. Whoever's watching right now. I'm Northern Hero, and I will see you again sometime in the future.